The room will be full in less than an hour. But right now, it's just them. The father is checking a microphone. The mother is standing near the entrance, looking over the table one last time, making sure everything's perfect. The little boy is carrying a stack of programs with both arms wrapped around them, like he's got something so special. And the daughter is placing one on every chair, carefully, perfectly in the middle, as though she's been given the most important job in the room. It has taken them years to arrive at this day. There were months when the business barely moved. Ideas that sounded better at the kitchen table than they looked on paper. Plans written after the children went to sleep. Conversations that began with, "Do you really think we can do this?" And answers that were not always confident, but they were honest. "I think we can keep trying." Soon, people will walk through those doors. They will see the finished room. They will hear the announcement, and they may congratulate the couple. They may take a photograph with the family standing together. And some may even say, "Look what you built." But the little girl already understands something that the room does not. She walks over to the mother and whispers, Did we build this too?" The mother kneels beside her, pulls her brother close. "Yes," she said. "All of us built this together." The little girl looks back at the row of chairs and suddenly realizes what they built. The siblings stand a little taller, and it's not just because the company belongs to them. It's because the story belongs to them. Guys, get comfortable. We're about to have another valuable conversation. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite people, and let's get into it. No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids,
and everything in between.
Hello, my friend, and welcome back to Becoming Unshakable, the Legacy Conversations bonus series brought to you by the Entrepreneur Parents Podcast, a community of strong families building lives of faith, courage, purpose, and lasting legacy. It's not always easy, but the beautiful thing about this community is that you guys do not give up on each other. And God bless you for that. I'm your host, Ildiko Ferenczi. If it's your first time listening, welcome. And if you are part of this beautiful community, welcome back. In our recent conversations, we've talked honestly about the pressures of entrepreneurs. Ooh, am I feeling pressured here? The pressures that entrepreneurial families carry. We've talked about success. We talked about failure, marriage, calling, and what our children are learning while they watch us build. And today, I love to celebrate something. I see the whole world celebrating this right now. Okay, not everyone, but many people do. Some people don't like the idea, but our community does. And the people that are celebrating this, they're going for it. They're loving it. And I want to celebrate the wife who is building with her husband, vice versa. The husband and the wife who decided that the God-given destiny, the dream, will not put them into separate lives, that they will not be pulled apart. The couple who ask, what could we build if we brought our gifts together? How could we change the world? What could we do? And perhaps the even more important question, who could we become while building it? We see a lot of people build things and they dropped the ball on the family that they were called to lead. They got lost. They went down a wrong path. But that's not who we're celebrating today. That's a sad story. We're celebrating the ones who build together, because there's something so deeply moving about watching a married couple build side by side. We watched the story of Poppy, right? How they started. People laughed at them. People thought that he was ridiculous for building with his wife. What does she know? Goodness gracious, what does she know? I don't know. They got $1 billion business right now. And many others. There's, oh my goodness, gosh, who's that social media influencer? Why I'm having a mom brain moment. Goodness gracious, her husband wanted to be the next Steve Jobs, and he was out in the line, and then they decided to build together. Now they have one of the biggest brands, and it started with shampoo. Come on. And we don't want to celebrate these couples, not because they don't disagree. The beautiful part is that they do disagree, that they've had some kind of shakiness in their marriage, but what they did was work through it. And not every responsibility during the building is divided perfectly. Working with your spouse is not only a meaningful way to build, but there's something so special. And this is our community. Who are we? We're parents. We're married. We're pouring into our relationships. We're pulling into our God-given calling. So it's so beautiful to see people succeed. It's also refreshing to see the struggles that they've gone through. We root for them because we understand what togetherness represents. Two people are not only sharing an idea, they're sharing a risk. They're sharing the learning, the growing, the ordinary days that nobody applauds. In fact, some people try to make you stray from it. What did they say to them? Nobody's going to buy your product. It's silly. Nobody's going to listen to your show. It's ridiculous, right? Whatever it is. And listen, when children are growing up inside that family, building together, when they're growing up inside this beautiful story, they're witnessing something so much larger than just a business. They're witnessing a family who chose to build one life together and protect it and guard it, to see the responsibility that it took, that God entrusted them with. And they built together. And they did great things, and they changed the world together. When people see a successful couple, they usually meet the story late. They see the website after it's all polished, the event after the chairs are arranged and it looks incredible, picture perfect. The product after the mistakes have been corrected. And especially, it depends what you're building, but sometimes it takes many attempts. They see one beautiful photograph of a family smiling, but they don't see the Tuesday or the Monday nights or whatever day of the week, like those hard nights that were behind it. The child who needed one more glass of water while mom was trying to finish a thought, a sentence, and connect with their father. The little one that gets up in the middle of the night with a nightmare. Mom has to comfort the baby, put him back to sleep, and get back to the powwow session with her love of her life. The husband reheating dinner because his wife, her late night call with another mother ran a little longer than expected. All right, well, trying to get this thing going, or the wife that's noticing that her husband lost confidence after many failed attempts trying to make something work before he even found the words to admit it. People putting pressure on him to be this way or be that way. And she's just like talking him up, giving him that encouragement that he needs. I could see you as this big consultant. I could see you doing these great things, whatever it is, for our business. And there's also quiet transfers of responsibilities. That's the other beautiful juggle, and what we call the struggle, the juggle in the wins. You finish this, babe, I'm going to go get bedtime. I know the babies want me, so I'm going to go finish bedtime and then I'll come back. That is the part that moves people. I mean, at this age, everybody's a parent. They want to see themselves in the story. This is the story. This is the dream. Because anyone who can admire the result, they can all remember the becoming of what it takes. And they remember who you were before you knew how to do this. That's your spouse that I'm talking about now. Right? They remember who you were before you knew how to do this. You figured this out together. Maybe you guys were babies growing up together. I love those couples that really went through the ringer. They met each other in high school. They went through the ringer and they're still together. Those are the heroes. Those are the spouses that remember the becoming. Or even maybe they got together later on in life, sleeping on mattresses, barely pulling the rent in. But they don't give up on the dream. Nothing separates it. They keep going because they know the idea they have is going to be so valuable, that is going to change the world. And they're not giving up on each other. That spouse, they heard the first version of the idea. They watched one of you make the mistake. They saw the discouragement, the tears. And when the world finally says, we believe in you, your spouse, maybe the person who can quietly answer, I believe in this. I believed in this. We believed in this before God's blessing came to fruition, came true for us. And there's a kind of intimacy in being known before the applause, before the product comes out, before that thing that you're working on with your loved one. There's this kind of gratitude in looking beside you when the room fills and recognizing the person who you built with when it was empty, when everybody doubted you. Everybody. I mean, maybe there was some people, but usually the interviews I do, it was just him and her. It was just him and her. But they didn't give up. Building together, it's you're not going to stay the same person. Okay, you're not going to grow and keep being the same person that you were 10, 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I don't know how old you are, but in fact, the strongest couples, they build beautifully because they allow themselves to grow, to evolve. And the other beautiful thing about couples is that they're both different. They both have different blessings that they can pour into one goal together as a family. One sees what could be, the other notices what it will require. One begins quickly. One doesn't give up, they keep going. The other asks the question that prevents an explosive, expensive, crazy mistake. One understands the room. They understand communication, negotiations. One understands numbers, and sometimes the roles change. The person who carried courage last season may need encouragement in this season. That is the beauty of real partnership. You do not have to be strong in the same place at the same time. You learn how to lend one another strength. The goal is not being the same. It's a shared direction. It's a shared story. It's a legacy. It's being able to say, your gifts don't threaten mine. And our opportunity matters to me. I will be there. I will not give up. I won't give up. That is when building together becomes more than just a vision or even a collaboration. It becomes this confirmation that you're actually going after your God-given destiny, that you're not giving up on each other. So many couples give up on each other. Some of them walk out, but others continue to build. I loved hearing Elena talk about her experience with Grant Cardone the other day, and how they didn't give up on each other. And they could have so easily just thrown in the towel. Or another one, I was listening to Andy Elliott the other day. They didn't give up on each other. And people tried to separate them and what did they call it? We call it in this community the enemy. The enemy moves through strangers, it moves through opportunities, it even moves through family. I'm talking extended family. Friends that just pop out of the blue. But you keep going. You don't give up. Your children are watching. Your children are watching. They see. I remember. I know exactly what happened when I look back. What happened? Who gave up? Who walked out? Who tried? Many of you do too. And that's why you guys are so incredible today. Why you don't give up. Why you work so hard building this thing. Relationship researchers use a phrase called dyadic coping. It simply describes what happens when two people face stress as partners. They communicate it, support one another, and respond to pressure together. Right? And our leaders have to be the ones to lead well. Perhaps sometimes the emotions and the fear of what you're walking through, it's scary, especially for the first time. A meta-analysis drawing from 57 reports and more than 17,000 participants found a meaningful association between this kind of shared coping and relationship satisfaction. In ordinary language, it matters when a problem stops being your burden or my burden, and it becomes something we face together. We don't walk out on it. We face it together. But when a husband and a wife learn to communicate stress, support the family's goals, and carry pressure as a team, they are practicing something that reaches far beyond business. They're strengthening the way they meet life. And children, they don't need to carry adult pressures. They should never feel responsible for protecting the family income or holding the business together. There's a beautiful difference between burdening children with the business or allowing them to belong to the family story. That's what's important, to belong to the family story. That's what it's about. Perhaps they place a card inside a package. Simple, but so powerful. They choose between two colors. Which one? Which one do you want to go with? My mother was so thoughtful when she included us in the business. We built together. We were a part of the story. Or perhaps it looks like just sitting nearby with crayons while mom and dad talk through an idea. We do this all the time. I do this with the children all the time. I have them sit in the room when I'm on the phone, whatever it may be. Paying a bill, negotiating a phone bill down, negotiating something on the phone, talking to someone. They're always learning. I don't shove them out of the room. They're there to learn. They hear themselves in the conversation. It's not about me. It's about us. We. Or they may hear, this did not work, so we're going to learn something valuable and try again. And perhaps when something finally goes well, they hear, we are grateful. Let's thank God together. I remember just the other day we were thanking God for something, for bringing someone amazing into our lives. We're just so grateful. Children growing up near healthy entrepreneurship, they learn that ideas require patience, that mistakes can become valuable lessons. That's what we call them here, valuable lessons. And that leadership includes keeping promises and keep treating people well when nobody important appears to be watching. What does it look like behind closed doors? What do we look like after getting off a phone call with someone that puts pressure on us? Are we trying to perform for people? And then we're a different way at home? What does it look like? They're watching. Most of all, they learn that family is not where ambition goes to die. Many people are like, oh, you don't want to build with your wife. No, you want to go out and do your own thing. And then what happens? What could happen? I know in our community, it's important because they want to leave a legacy. You guys want to leave a legacy behind. You want to include everyone. You want to use everyone's gifts to pour into the God-given destiny. When you stand before Jesus, he's not going to ask you how much you made in that company. How did you treat those strangers? It's the one flesh he asks about. What did you do with my daughter? What did you do with the children? How did you pour into the marriage? It's not necessarily what you have built or how much money you made. That's why it's so beautiful to include everyone. Family can be also where ambition receives its deepest purpose. And sometimes the business may change, and that's all right. But the experience that you all lived together, the story where you built it together, and how it evolved into something different, how it changed over the years. The inheritance is that beautiful story that had the struggle juggles and all the things. The inheritance could be the memory of watching faith give you the courage that you needed, the courage to build something tangible that you could feel. It started maybe just an idea, started out as just perhaps an idea on a napkin or on the back of a placemat. And they saw this come to life and everything that was poured into it because of the love for each other and what that built. That's beautiful legacy. There's this sentence entrepreneurial parents, they say often, I'm doing this for my family. And many of them mean it with their whole heart. But building for your family and building with your family it doesn't always feel the same. And decisions, remember that the marriage is sacred. The Holy Covenant. It's always first. Opportunities are considered in the light of what they will give the family and what they will ask the family to surrender. Some of those, it's hard. Some of them may lead you in the wrong direction. And in those cases, sometimes the spouse beside you is not merely expected to just understand. The beautiful part happens when they're invited to speak. Not talking about on a stage or anything, but just including them in the dream, talking to them about the vision, the goal of the family. What is the goal of the family? We need to understand that. The whole family needs to understand. What does it look like? What are we building together? Because a dream affects both lives. So if you just go off and plan your own things, it's going to affect the whole family. So if they're not included and that dream keeps failing again and again and again, that creates unsafety for the family. They have no idea what you're going after, but it didn't work. And it didn't work again, and it didn't work again. Because nobody was included. Nobody even understands. The dream may have first arrived in one heart, but once it's shared, once a family begins carrying its cost, the conversation belongs to the family too. This is where a business can become something beautiful, not an empire built at the expense of a family, but an expression of what the family values: faith, integrity, service, generosity, and the freedom to be present for moments that will not come twice. Oh, this is another opportunity, but there's many that have lost those precious moments. Most of our people in our community, what is the most important thing? They want to build freedom, and they want to build something together where they don't miss those opportunities that the previous generation they missed. They want to build together. And they want the freedom to be able to truly be there. And the children, they don't want their children to experience the business as the thing that continually took their parents away. I know so many fathers, they have such concern about that. And I wasn't really connected to my father. He was gone all the time. We didn't really have a relationship. They don't want that for their own children. They want the freedom. They want to spend the summer with their children, go on vacation. Not just through the summer. Many fathers are choosing to homeschool, go abroad, build something great with their family again. They want their children to remember this experience as one of the places where they saw their parents come alive together. And remember, this is your first time experiencing life as a mother, first time experiencing life as a father. Why not make it good? That's what someone said the other day. It's my first time being a father. I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it because I understand the window. In a minute, my kids are going to be off doing their own thing, and I have to honor them to build their holy covenant. And I have this one shot. I don't want to miss it. I'm not going to be selfish. Mothers, fathers, I'm going to do something great. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 and 10 says, 2 are better than 1. They get a good wage for their toil. If one falls, the other will help the fallen one. I love how beautiful that scripture is. It doesn't say one person will never fall. It tells us what love can do when they do fall. The other helps them rise. That's partnership. Not 2 flawless people producing a flawless life. That's not an exciting story. That's not what happens in life, truly. 2 people who kept returning to the work and to one another. Nothing pulled them apart. The verse continues by describing a 3-ply cord that is not easily broken. For Christian marriage that we recognize in this community, that image carries a beautiful reminder. Who's included in this vision? Who do you think? If you're listening with the children, who's in the vision? Husband and wife are not asked to build through their own strength alone. Did you catch that? Guys, this is beautiful. God belongs at the center of what they are becoming. The question is not only, can this business grow? It is, can we build in a way that honors God, strengthen our covenant, serve people well, and give our children a story worth remembering? Beautiful. So it's beautiful. That is a much greater vision than success alone. Can we make money? Lots and lots of money. Can't take that with you, darling. Can't take that with you. You know what they say? You cannot take the U-Haul full of all your valuables to heaven. You won't even be asked about it up there. The world does not root for couples who build together because they're working, how can I say this? Because working with your spouse is easy. It's not. I mean, working with anyone is not easy, but working with your spouse, it's not easy. It's not like, oh, I found the solution. This is super simple. Let's just do it. We root for them because we understand what it represents. Right, parents? They're honoring two gifts without turning them into a competition. It's more like complementing each other. What do you bring? I don't want to say, what do you bring to the table? Because that could be looked at negatively. That's not it. But God has blessed us all with unique gifts. And when it comes together, wow, the things that we can do. And it's giving their children a front row seat to the courage of commitment. Our babies get to witness that and reminding us that success, it doesn't have to be an individual story. One person doesn't have to get lost. He doesn't have to get lost because she includes him. He includes her. You can look beside you and say, I don't want you to just watch from a distance. Babe, I want you to build. We're going to build this together. People usually see the photograph after it's finished, right? Those family businesses, the Poppies and all the family businesses, they see the photographs after. But they saw what went into it. I want your voice in the life that we're building. I want to hear your ideas. While we're building the company, while we're building this calling that we have on our lives. Neither spouse should have to build a separate life to become fully alive. That's a pitfall. It's where so many of those men get lost, or women, they get lost. They look back and their children are grown. They missed out on the lives. They missed out on the holidays. They missed out on the dinners. We had this wake-up call episode a while ago. But it's always talked about when we talk. Someone has the courage to remind us of a story that happened to someone, and it's sad. There can be a room for the family's God-given calling, where the children are included, and where God, sometimes He redirects the plan. Sometimes you start building alone. Someone was talking about this the other day. They started building alone, and they just changed the whole roadmap, the whole blueprint. They didn't want to build the dream to grow without asking the family to join. They didn't want the family to disappear beneath this vision. Sometimes God speaks to one heart and then it becomes that family mission. The legacy is not simply that mom and dad succeed. The legacy is that they kept choosing we. They included everybody. It's such a beautiful vision. Okay, guys, go grab your journals and something to write with. Take these questions and just be honest. Just be honest with yourself. Just write whatever comes to mind. And if you can, include the person that you're building with. If they're there today, include them. Does the life we're building make room for all of our gifts? Does it include all of our gifts? When pressure rises, does it become your problem and my problem? Or something that we learn to face together? Do our children feel burdened by what we're building? Do they feel left out? Or do they feel safely included in the family story, in the legacy? What values do we want our work to demonstrate inside of our home? What are our values? Our Holy Covenant starts with that, and the babies we're raising. One day our children will describe this season. Am I running off and doing my own thing, not including the family? Or what we do? Is it including them? Are they proud of what we're doing as a family? Do they love what we're doing as a family? What do we hope that they will remember about us? Who were we when we were building? They remember that all. One day they'll sit across from their spouse and they'll share. What did it look like? Guys, let's come together in prayer. Let's lock this in together. When two or more, let's lock this in. Heavenly Father, thank you for the gift of marriage. Thank you so much for the callings you placed in our hearts, for those beautiful blessings that you gave us, the talents, and for the people you give us to love while we're building. Teach us to recognize the gifts of one another. Keep us from competition, pride, and the need to receive all the credit. Keep us from forgetting the vision. Give us wisdom when our ideas are different and help us come together. Patience when the work takes longer than we hoped, and tenderness when one of us becomes tired. Help us build our calling together. Let our children see faith in the way we begin, in the infant stages, integrity in the way we work, humility in the way we learn, and gratitude in the way we receive success. Protect our marriage from becoming secondary to the work you placed in our hands. May our business serve our family, bring our family closer together. May our family serve others. And everything we build, bring glory to you always. And when one of us falls, teach the other to help them rise. And when one of us succeeds, teach the other to celebrate without reservation. And when the way forward is uncertain, remind us that we don't need to walk alone. We don't need to walk it alone. That we have you to lean into. In Jesus' name, amen. My friend, perhaps you are building, and whatever you're building, maybe it still looks very small. Perhaps the world hasn't noticed it yet. Maybe tonight is only an idea being discussed at a kitchen table while the kids sleep down the hall or while you're nursing the baby. Don't underestimate that beginning. Not every meaningful legacy begins with funding, recognition, or even a perfect plan. Maybe the people around you don't get it yet. Some begin when a husband looks at his wife and says, "Tell me more about your idea." Remember that vinegar drink that Poppy had? Tell me more about your idea. So apple cider vinegar drink? A fly on the wall. Imagine being a fly on the wall to all these businesses that have exploded today. Some begin where a wife looks at her husband after a disappointment and says, "This didn't work out, but we're not finished learning. There's so much more to learn. This was just a valuable lesson." Some begin where two people stop asking who deserves the credit and begin asking what their gifts could accomplish together. Keep the vision. Keep honoring one another. Keep letting your children see that meaningful things are built through faithfulness in just ordinary moments. The room may be empty right now. Keep setting the chairs. Keep the vision. Don't let it go. Before you reach for that coffee, consider this. What if the energy boost you're looking for isn't in your cup, but in your cells? I challenge you to swap your morning coffee for Shilajit by Symbiotica. And here's what can happen. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy, plus mental clarity and trace minerals that our bodies actually need, that are actually starving for, to be honest. This isn't just a supplement. It's an ancient adaptogen sourced from the Himalayas that supports mitochondrial function, stamina, and overall vitality. Your coffee never did that. Okay, let's just be honest. Try it for a week and tell me your body doesn't thank you. Symbiotica's Shilajit is next level wellness, and honestly, you may never go back to drinking coffee. Click the link below down in the bio and get your Shilajit today. Friends, if this conversation reminded you of the person building, share it with them. And tonight, perhaps ask your significant other a simple question, just something simple. What would building one life together look like for us in this season? See what that gives life to. Friends, if Becoming Unshakable has become a part of your week, follow the show and leave us a 5-star rating and a kind review. It really helps more families find these conversations. Maybe people that are dreaming about one day leaving that 9 to 5, getting some freedom, building something great together. Help them find this conversation. It's a blessing for them. And thank you for pouring into your marriages and your God-given calling. And for the children in your life, come listen to Destiny and Daniel on the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show, a screen-free learning podcast for young, courageous leaders. And you can leave a gift to help produce the children's show through buymeacoffee.com/entrepreneurkids. I'm not sure if, the link is in, I never know. The link is down in the bio, okay? buymeacoffee.com/entrepreneur kids legacy, I think. Oh my goodness. I think so. Every follow, every share, every review, and every gift helps these little ones continue creating conversations. We pray strengthens generations to come. And thank you for building with us. And guys, there's a sign up at the bottom. There's a big problem. Okay. There's addiction to devices. We see it many times. There's family get-togethers, right? There's family get-togethers, and they may not have the same beliefs as we do. And it exposes our children that we're protecting from devices. They're on the device. Why are they on devices? We're not on devices. We're not allowed. So if we could come together as a community and listen to these screen-free podcasts, and if we have this choice of choosing something that is going to plant seeds in our children rather than allowing them to watch garbage. Because listen, sometimes we need to have a conversation. What else is out there? We could choose from garbage, or we could choose from something that plants seeds. The children identified this problem, and I thought it was brilliant, and I support them all the way, because as a mom, I need this. Okay? Sometimes our husbands, they just have to get up and leave, right? They have to go do things. And we need something to help us, right? Especially when we have 2 or more, or even 1. I'm not discrediting, because even sometimes 1 child, when we barely have enough time to brush our hair, sometimes we would love to have a safe place where we know not some creep isn't going to come and DM our kid, or they're not going to get caught watching something on one of these platforms that we cannot take back, that they see a video that they can't unsee. So the kids have created something beautiful for other children, for mothers. It's an app. There's exercise. There's books to read. There's stories to be heard. There's storytelling on there. There's courses, life skills, self-development, business. It covers everything that children are interested in and things that we want to introduce to our children in a fun, encouraging way. So they've built this app. Make sure you go down to the show notes. You'll find the link for it. Sign up so you could be one of the first ones to have this. I know it's going to help you in so many ways. I needed this. And now we have it. You know, the children, they listen to their own podcast. They enjoy listening to their own podcast. So when they came up with this, they just knew that it was going to help the moms out there and help their friends out there to be surrounded by nutritious stuff for the brain, for their lives. And so I want to thank you for building with us, and thank you for pouring into yourselves and your families and changing your lives. I want to leave you with something here at the end. Okay, I don't want to go and say goodbye before I say these few things that I feel could really change the rest of your day, to just really give you that that you need. Sometimes I need that and don't forget to reach out to me. I loved the messages that you guys sent me last week. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to get to know you. Reach out down in the show notes, find me, and it's always such an honor to get to know you guys. And I want to leave you with this. May God bless the vision you're carrying and the people carrying it with you. May your home be filled with great ideas and courage and laughter and peace. And may that be the highlight, because I know sometimes it's not always like that. May both of your gifts have room to grow together into something beautiful. May your children feel protected from the pressure, because there's a lot of pressure even if you're not building together. There's a lot of pressure. So may they be protected from that, and included in the story. This is so important. This is so key. May success never require separate lives beneath one roof. That's the saddest story. That's so sad. So let's really, even if it is right now, it's never too late to change, to pivot, to do things differently, so that we're not living different lives and separate lives under one roof. May God remain at the center of your decisions, your work, your marriage, and your becoming. And one day your children, I'm telling you from the great conversations in this community, they're not going to remember every launch. They're not going to remember every meeting or even setback or even sale. But they will remember looking across the room and realizing Mom and Dad did not build separate lives. They built this together. They chose to build one life. They built together. And that was the biggest blessing of all. That was the biggest blessing we could have got. God bless you guys. Glory to God always. We love you. Keep building strong families, strong futures, and an unshakable legacy. This is Becoming Unshakable. I'm your friend Ildiko Ferenczi, and I love you. God bless you. Thank you for pouring into your families and yourselves.
Thank you, beautiful friends, for listening to this important message from Mama. Share with someone you love and care about. Oh, and we'd love to personally invite you to listen to our podcast. It's for young future leaders ready to change the world and be a light in the dark. Listen together as a family. It's called the Optional Kids Legacy Show. We know you'll love it. Be bold, be kind, build an unforgettable family legacy. God bless you, we love you. And parents, if no one told you yet, let us be the first. You're doing a remarkable job. And remember, you are the hero of your story, because every legacy begins with a hero. And that hero is you.
This podcast is for inspirational and educational purposes only, and it is not intended to replace professional advice, legal advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The views expressed are based on personal experience and faith-based insight and are meant to encourage reflection and growth. Always seek the guidance of qualified professionals regarding any questions or concerns you may have about your health, relationships, or business.